Welcome back to Flotsam. I have been making videos about this game off and on for 6 years. Now, I only made 4 videos. The first 2 I made in 2019 when this game first came to early access. And I really liked it, but it was pretty early days back then. But then 4 years later, my friend Ranithcord encouraged me to come back and try the game again. So in 2023, I made another 2 videos where I saw a much more updated version of the game, and it had really taken some huge strides. And now it is officially coming out. So I thought I would come back in here and see what is going on. I've just replayed the tutorial to remind myself how this game actually works. So armed with that knowledge, I'm going to start a new game from scratch, and we will see the state of it today. So we have got 3 characters to roll up at the beginning, and we gotta figure out what these people... Okay, so we got 2 cricket cooks. That is just boring. We gotta re-roll another guy. Okay, so pre-flood, this person was a water driller, and now they're a pineapple mason. They build houses out of pineapples. Okay, they're having a lot of fun with this. I appreciate that. So apparently each character kind of has 2 traits. One describing their career before the flood, and one describing their career after the flood. Because if you don't know, by the way, this is a city builder on the ocean. It's like if Frostpunk melted. So it's like a post-apocalyptic community simulation. You've got people running around doing jobs and slowly building up a floating town. So these are all jobs that people have that sort of decide what they can do on your floating town, including cooking, crafting, athletics, liquids, and this all seems fine. I don't think I understand the game well enough to have a very strong opinion about who my people are, except I wanted them all to have different backgrounds. And now they do. And also they all have names that sound very nautical, and I appreciate that. Well, that's it then, Captain. Garbage floods washed away our village. Good thing we had a ship to make our escape. Let's not sink into despair. Let's ride this wave and stay afloat. We're gonna survive. No, we're gonna thrive. We should transform our boat into a floating community. Today we start rebuilding our civilization. But first, what should we christen our new town? Rekaton is one thing we could call it. Dolphinburg? Blue Way? Ocean Cove? Scrappenbury? I love stuff like this. I make randomly generated stuff like this for my game. And so I just love seeing what they came up with. Barnacleton-on-Sea. That's a pretty good one, actually. Let's go with that one. Barnacleton-on-Sea, huh? Perfect. The future is ours. So, where do we even start building with this whole floating community thing? Wait, look at all this plastic floating around. It's like a precious floating gift of garbage. It's practically begging for a second chance. Begging! Let's put it to use. So, yeah, so that's actually... I remember that from the tutorial. I imagine there's probably going to be less of that guidance this time around. So, the first thing you can do is just send people out. That's what this is. Sending people out to go and grab things. So I just place these little loops around here, and my 3 people that I've just created are going to go floating around, swimming in the ocean and picking things up. By the way, one thing I love, when I looked back at my old videos, I noticed that the ocean was opaque in those old videos. And it is not anymore. You can see that there is a flooded city down below. So yeah, when our people come back, they have this little barrel full of stuff, and they just chuck things into our little storage area up front, and everything is very literalized. Like, you're not just getting sort of a number of a resource and like filling up sort of an invisible bucket that contains numbers of resources. Each resource is an actual thing that gets stacked up in a little pile in a specific place on the ship. And I just love that because, I mean, most of the time when I'm playing this, I'm not going to be paying attention to this, right? I will be looking at these numbers at the top of the screen. But there's something, I don't know, special about the fact that the game, like, these people, they have, like, physical objects that they're moving around. Everything is a thing in this world. Okay, so we built that stuff, or collected that stuff. We need to start building some stuff. So our little boat here lets us make floating platforms leading off in whatever direction we want. We can go, this direction. We can also go diagonally if we want to. That creates a little bit of a challenge. Actually, I honestly don't envy the people who had to figure out how to make, diagonals interact with. I mean, at least they only had 45-degree angles. You can't put it at like 30 or 60-degree angles. But this looks like it probably created a nightmare for somebody to try to solve this problem. But okay, I've got these two little bridges sticking out, and now I need to build some things. What do I need to build? A plastic workshop, which lets us make floaters. So I used floaters, I believe, to make these things. I've collected a few more, but we should build a plastic shop so that we can make more as we need them, because I don't think floaters are scavenged all that often. I think floaters are usually manufactured. So we'll want to have one of those. And then what else can we eventually build? We've got a sawmill. And a manual dryer, which process wood. We've got a recycler that processes junk, and we've got a chopping block that that makes firewood. Okay, so I don't think we need firewood quite yet. Firewood is mostly used for taking salt out of the water, and so that we're doing okay. We got enough drinking water. So I guess let's look at the map and see what opportunities are around us. So this is something that was not in the first early access version of the game, or at least if it was, I didn't notice it. Actually, you know what? It probably was there. I didn't notice a lot of stuff. It was probably there. I can't go back to that build and find out, but it probably was there. I don't know. Anyway, this is what you do. You click in a spot and drag your little mouse around, and you control your little boat. Your little boat goes over here. And now you go back, and wait, where'd my boat go? Oh no, you hit the C button, and you find your boat. And now I have moved exactly near those two things on the map. I think that they have you do it this way, because actually watching your town sail around is going to look ridiculous. The bigger you make this town, the more ridiculous it's going to look. To have your town sailing around, and also you're gonna have to deal with things like when this whale is surfacing. Do you collide with it? Are you just steamrolling over all of this plastic stuff? There's a bunch of weird little sort of visual problems to solve that, if all of your travel is happening on the map, don't gotta solve them. And honestly, I would much rather have them be spending their time and effort solving problems with the community simulation, and not solving a bunch of problems with the visuals. So go ahead, skip the problems that don't matter to the game. That's a very good plan. Okay, so floaters. I remember in order to build stuff, we needed more floaters. In fact, all of your buildings, I think, need some degree of flotation. So if we want a manual dryer for taking wet wood and turning it into dry wood, and if we need a sawmill, we're gonna need a bunch of floaters. So let's manufacture some floaters. And so you notice each time I tell it to manufacture something, it takes from the stockpile of plastic. Now, technically, I still have 17 plastic, but as far as the manufacturing is concerned, I've just reserved that plastic and said, no, I'm making floaters out of this plastic. Now, we've got a bunch of plastic still left out here to scavenge, so let's do that. You can have 4 of these little markers at any given time. And so the way this game works overall is it's kind of like RimWorld or any of these community sims, where basically you're creating jobs. Your people are autonomous. They're running around deciding what they want to do next at any given moment. They need food, they need water, which they can take from their food stocks and their water stocks. And I think they need rest as well, which means we should probably build them some homes at some point. But they're deciding what they're doing. All you do is put jobs out in front of them, and then they prioritize jobs and go and do those jobs. So, like this guy right here, he's still sitting here making floaters, while his 2 friends have decided to go out and scavenge. And you can make way more jobs than people can handle at any given point, and they'll just do the jobs in order. They'll prioritize them and run around doing them. So now that we've collected more floaters, we can make a manual dryer for wood. Which I'll stick over there. I guess this is my wood processing bridge, and this is my plastic processing bridge. And then we're still, in order to make a sawmill, we need to have also already dried some wood. So we got to get this manual dryer built. And I'm going to speed up time a little bit. Games like this, I actually tend to play on a higher speed and then just pause when I need to make decisions. Because I'm an impatient person who can't just sit here and vibe with a game. Okay, we finished the manual dryer. So this basically takes the wet wood that we collected out of the water and turns it into dry wood. So I think wet wood is useless. Like I think the only purpose for wet wood is to be turned into dry wood. So rather than saying I'm going to make a certain number of these the way I did with the floaters, I'm just going to hit the infinite button that says whenever there is wet wood, load it in here and make it into dry wood. And so right now I've only been able to load up 10 wet woods, and there's at least one left or two left or something. There's some number. I always forget which is the numerator and which is the denominator. We'll figure it out. But there's always, there's some amount of wood left. But as soon as we start processing this wood and it starts emptying out, it's just going to fill it with any wet wood that I've got. So, speaking of that, let's go find some more. Moving my little boat. Oh, we got some seaweed down there. We'll need that eventually. But for right now... Oh, where'd I go? I'm over here. So it's interesting. They don't, spawn this stuff. This stuff I think only exists on the map. Stuff that's really far away, like this seaweed over here, this wood over here, stuff that I'm not really close to, I don't think it exists yet until I actually get close. In fact, this little bubble around me might be the area that exists. I'm not sure that that's true. That seems truthy. And so when you first come back to the map and it's paused, these things will all be underwater because they all spawn underwater and then they pop up onto the surface. And so it's easy to think oh man, there's not a lot of wood over here. And then you unpause the game, physics takes over, and they pop up and start playing around. So let's go and scavenge these guys. Now, I've got one person who's still busy making floaters, but... Oh, and another person who's busy drying the wood. So I've placed these 3 markers, but only one person is going to go do that job. Until their wood drying job is done, then they are going to go out here. And I think that prioritization is all set here. So these are all the jobs that a person can do from left to right. And I'm pretty sure that the jobs on the left are considered to be more important than the jobs on the right. So for instance, crafting. But both of the jobs I had, making the floaters and making the dry wood into wet wood into dry wood, those are both crafting jobs. And so they're over here. Salvaging jobs are to the left. And so my characters who once I gave them salvaging jobs, they finished the job they were in the middle of and then switched over to salvaging. But I've got this one character over here, Junk Punk, who actually really likes crafting. So I'm going to raise the priority of crafting for him. And so what that means is he's not, if there's a crafting job to do, he's not going to go salvaging. He's going to read down this list and say, the first thing I care about is crafting. And then if there's no crafting to do, he'll read down it again with the lower priority tasks and then find something to do. So he's going to be my crafter. We expect to now see Junk Punk. Which guy is Junk Punk anyway? Who are these people? That's Moana Jetsam. There's Junk Punk. Yeah, so we should expect to see the guy in the teal shirt. If there's a crafting job to do, he'll be doing a crafting job while other people go and salvage. Wait, I feel like I'm missing somebody. Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what I think I did? I think I left... Who is this? I left Seamus behind. I'm pretty sure that Seamus was in the water when I took off. Well, that's embarrassing. Okay, so what is it going to take for me to be able to build a house? I need planks. And so to build planks, I need a sawmill. And to do that, I need dry wood. So they're still working on the dry wood. In fact, I'm going to say the dry wood more important than the floaters. So we're going to go out to the map again. And we're going to salvage some more stuff. We only have 2 crafting jobs, and so we always, if we want to be efficient with the use of our people's time, we're going to need to be salvaging, to always be out here salvaging someplace. So yeah, so right now I'm betting. Oh wait, why is everybody salvaging? We got some high priority wood. There we go. Yeah, Junk Punk doing his job. Alright. I think of Junk Punk, that sounds more like a literary genre than a person. But, okay, we've got 5 dry wood now, which means I'm pretty sure, yes, we can make a sawmill. We build a sawmill right next to our wood dryer, and so now that dried wood will get fed into the sawmill. We can make planks and we can make houses, but it's getting kind of late actually. So it's nighttime. These people would normally rest, but they're not going to because I'm working them to death because they don't have houses. So hopefully we can fix that problem fairly soon. Let's figure out where physically they're going to live. How big are houses? I can't find out unless I can afford a house. No, 3 by 3. It says 3 by 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, boink. There we go. So we've made room for a couple of houses here. I'm glad they tell me the size of the house so that I know what I'm doing. All right, so now we're going to make planks. How many planks does each house need? Let's make a couple of these. Each requires 4. So let's make 4 for each one. Okay, so I've asked for 8. However, we do not actually have that many planks. However, because I've asked for 8, once those planks show up, they'll be added to the queue. I mean, once the wood shows up, it'll be added to the queue, and we'll still be able to make the planks. I like that. I like that they let me sort of over-plan to overproduce. Okay, let's send somebody out to get that last bit of plastic before we move on. But let's not leave until they've actually gotten back to the boat. Back here. All right, there we go. Let's move on. So wait, what are we actually high and low on here? We got a fair amount of plastic. We got a lot of wet wood. Well, for my current standards anyway. I think we're gonna need a fair amount of it to make the planks that we need though. So going after wood is probably smart. Oh wait, but we don't have any. Okay, our food is at 8. At some point, we're gonna need to be making food for ourselves. And so I'm gonna head over here to the seaweed just to make sure we've got some. So that whenever we get to the point, whoop, where we are ready to start making some food. Do we have that option here? Where is... Okay, we do have the option, actually. We could actually... Oh, we could build a food thing right now. We've got the planks for it. But we've got 8 food. That'll feed 3 people for... I think these are just days of food, right? I think each person eats a food and drinks a water each day. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, these people are like, where's my house? Actually, let's look at one of these people. Hey there, Junk Punk. I want a home. So his morale is okay. Expertise modifier. Not sure what that is. Is that because he's doing a job he likes? Not sure there. Oh, actually, wait. Maybe this is my difficulty modifier. Maybe because I'm playing at a lower difficulty or something, and it is giving him a big bonus. I don't know what this means. But they're doing the traditional high morale for the beginning of the game, so the morale becomes a problem later on, slowly. He's doing a job he loves, which is great. He ate. That's good. It's an okay-looking town. Fine. Damning me with fate praise. But he wants a home. That's a big deal to him. So we're going to build you a home, buddy. I promise. Accept. Except. I think we need food first. So, how big is this? This is 4 by 3. Well, but I like a symmetrical town, so we'll just have to... We'll do that anyway. And then let's build ourselves a salad spinner. And by the way, so I don't know if you know what a salad spinner is, but it's a real kitchen implement. I think my mom had one, and probably still does have one. But I just haven't seen it in a long time. But I don't live at my parents' house anymore, so why would I see their salad spinner? But I love that they've turned it into like a building scale tool for making food for these people. Look at that. I do love that these things come together piece by piece. They built the art in such a way that you can just watch it get constructed. Okay, so we've got 20 seaweed. We're going to turn it into 5 meals. 5 salads. And if you look, actually, you can kind of look ahead. So each of the buildings has the ability to potentially do multiple things. So making seaweed salad is one thing it can do. But you can also have it make potato salad if you've got potatoes. And polluted seaweed salad? Cool. Let's not worry about that right now. So, yeah, so we've got, like, multiple crafting jobs all set up to do. We're constantly drying wood whenever wood drying is a thing we can do. We've got planks that we're making. Oh, we're actually making a fair number of planks. We need to make 2 more now that I've made the salad spinner. And somebody to come over and spin salad. And actually, I'm pretty sure, is salad spinning, like, a higher priority task? Yeah, cooking. Cooking is a higher priority task. And it's a separate task. So Junk Punk is actually not going to prioritize cooking. Moana is. Because Moana likes cooking. Okay, so we are no longer salvaging anything. But how are we doing on being able to make a house? We're out of floaters. Holy crap. Holy crap. So I'm tempted to just have infinite floaters. Because, man, we need them for everything. And it's hard to keep track of that. Actually, I'm pretty sure. I think we've got a tool for this. Was it this? Yeah, okay, floaters. What if I say I want to maintain 8 floaters at all times? Is that what this does? I'm not actually sure. My face is covering some stuff, but I think what this is saying is, how much of this stuff do you want? And I'm going to say I want 8. I want 8 floaters. And so does that mean that at the thing what makes floaters, I can just say, here, let's make all of it go away. I want infinite floaters. And then it will make me 8 and then stop? I think so. Wait, why are there items missing? Oh, there we go. It just couldn't find it. Okay, cool. So we've got... Did I just incur a bug of some kind? Or... Because it's saying I've got way less plastic than I've got, but it does keep finding the plastic. Weird. What happens if I close that and open it up again? Maybe it's just saying how many plastic... Maybe this isn't saying how much plastic I have overall. Maybe this is saying how many bits of plastic have they found? Interesting. Okay, I don't know what's going on there, but we are definitely out of plastic. We need to go salvage some stuff before we are just wasting everyone's time. So let's go get some plastic. Right there. And there's some wood and some seaweed nearby too. Where are we? Whoop. The C button is your friend. All right, so... The C is your friend in general in this game. Okay, so notice, we used the salad spinner. We turned all that seaweed that we had into meals. Okay, so we've got 8 canned food meals and then 5 seaweed salad meals, which adds up to 13. And I'm pretty sure they all eat 1 meal a day. Okay. cool. We've done that. Let's go up here, where we can salvage 2 things. Grab more food. And oh, look at this. Look at this city under the water. It looks so cool. Okay, these people are going to start getting real tired, but we've got 8 planks now, so let's build them some houses. So we're going to go 1 house, and oh, we still need floaters. Okay, we have 10 floaters, and they're still making them. So maybe my guess about what that menu does was wrong. Because, well, let's see. But I had already... But maybe I had committed the floaters, which means they knew they needed to make backups. So let's... We'll go get more plastic salvage in just a bit, once they're done constructing. Constructing is one of the most high priority tasks. So we're making these double tents for people. They got to share, but we want to make sure they've got, you know, plenty of space. Like, I want to be efficient with my space, you know, and so we've got room for another person if we can find another person out there somewhere. Okay. So yeah, so I want to do an experiment and figure out if my interpretation of that production limit thing is actually accurate. So we got people drying wood. Okay, get everybody back in the boat. Back in the boat. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, maps. Let's go get some plastic. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a place over there. We'll worry about that in a second. When you start seeing borders on the map, you're finding some good stuff. All right, let's send everybody out to collect this stuff. Even this stuff, way out there. And let's see, as the plastic starts rolling in, let's see what they start doing over here. Okay, so they've got this bucket over here where they stick plastic. And that's what this means. They stick plastic in this bucket, I think. No, this says 2 out of 4, though. Oh, because he's got extra. He's got the 4 that he's making into the floater right now. And then he's got the next 2 available. Right? Is that what that is? Okay, they've made 9. And we're out of plastic. It says production limit reached. But also we're out of plastic. Let's get some more plastic and see if they'll still make some more. Okay, so we're gonna go. We're gonna ignore this wood and this seaweed for now. And we're gonna go find this place. There's some kind of region over here. Captain, look there on the horizon. A scouting landmark. I bet if we climb to the top, we'll see all sorts of junk begging for upscaling. All right, yeah, I agree. Let's go. So each of these regions, these like marked out, bordered regions, has got kind of a style to it. And I think this particular one might not actually be high on the plastics. But we'll find out. So this is a landmark, and so we can send somebody to scout the region. So they're going to go over here, swim around to the beach, climb up inside the tower. Captain, smoke up ahead. Could it be a survivor? Let's see. Oh, there's an abandoned camp over there. It's surrounded by plastic. That might be a good place for us to go. So, yeah, That's awesome. Is there anything else to do over here? Not really. So let's head that direction. Notice that you get a little marker on your compass ring over here telling you when there's like a quest. Before we hit this place up though, let's get some more plastic and see if they'll make floaters out of it. So here's some plastic. And let's unpause. Boink! It all pops up to the surface. So we are at 9 floaters, which means we're above our production limit. So see if anybody prioritizes making more floaters. So far nobody is, but everybody's salvaging, so... Okay, let's let them finish that. Now... They've all got nothing to do. Except the guy who's cranking the boat back there. By the way, what he's doing, we've got, our boat is electric. So we got a battery running it. And when it gets below 50%, somebody will come in and crank it all the way back up. And that battery is primarily used, at least at this stage in the game. It seems like it might be used for more later. At this stage in the game, it's used to just, it's this meter right here. It's basically your fuel. So let's go over here, try to find a person. Let's see if somebody's over here. A campfire, and it's still smoldering. We just missed them. If they're on the move, they'll be looking for food and water. Let's check the usual spots, see if we can catch up. So, cool. We can also gather tinder and take furniture. So let's do that. Send a couple of people over there. So yeah, so tinder is important because we're going to need to start making water. And it occurs to me, actually, can I do that now? Can I? No, we need more planks. Well, we've got a bunch of dry wood. Why not make planks out of it? Planks, 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 planks. All right. And actually, now that I know production limits work, let's do that with planks as well. Let's say we just always want 8 planks. And then we'll set this to infinite. And I assume it will just work. Okay, it's getting dark, but people are actually sleeping in their beds, except this guy. He's like, no, I'm not tired. I'm junk punk. I don't get tired. Okay, so this is another place we can scout. So let's grab junk, take furniture. Notice I can't dismantle appliances until I have a tool, and we have not. Wait, this is not where I thought I was. Hold on, go away. Where the heck am I? I'm over here. Pfft, okay, I was in the wrong place. This is where I want to go. Scout the region, grab plastic junk, take furniture. Did we send a bunch of guys over here? Yes, we did. Okay, I guess we're doing both. Oh, there's all kinds of islands. This one only has trees on it, though, which I need an axe to chop. So, I guess we'll keep doing this as well. Why not? Once we're done with this one. So we have scouted the region. I don't know if that's told us anything we didn't already know. It's saying that there are some places with food over here, and that might be where we can find another survivor. So that's probably our next destination, but let's wrap this up. Looks like this place is all... Nope, not quite taken yet. Oh, because we're swimming all the way... We're taking forever swimming all the way over here. Okay, I mean, I guess I could tell them to stop. Stop doing it. It's too far. Let's just finish up this. Okay. Oh, and now we can make a desalinator. We can make a desalinator. A desalinator is quite large. I'm going to stick it across from the salad spinner. Right there. So we'll work on that while we're in transit to... Okay, I'm having some trouble getting the boat to go. All right, actually, let's finish. Let's finish salvaging this place just because we started. It'll be weird if we don't finish the job. We're just running around, grabbing stuff. Again, it's all physicalized. It's all little bits that are like lying around on the ground. Taking almost all the furniture. What does taking furniture look like? Is it... Oh, is it going into the building and taking furniture? Oh, you collecting that bench? Oh, cool. I love these massive whales that phase through rock. They're cool. Okay, yep, we're done here. So, we're going to head over to where this food is, which might also include a person. Not... The food doesn't include a person. You know what I mean. So let's scavenge this place. And look at this. We got a desalinator now. So, I think we should just make as much water as we can. So let's just do infinite desalinization. And that will use the 4 firewood that we've got. Maybe we should also contrive some means of making firewood, making our own firewood. Like a chopping block, for instance. So let's stick a chopping block there. And we've got, yeah, our desalinator's working. Are we done here? Not quite. Containers are what you need to collect bio-waste. Why do we want bio-waste? What is that for? Do I want to know? Probably not. Oh, look at this. We're filling up our storage. No, no. We need more storage. So how big is storage? Small storage is 2 by 2. So let's make sure we've got room. Do we have barely enough room for 2 by 2 if I put it here? Let us find out. Oh no, they just barely overlap. No. Or is it that they overlap, or is it... Yeah, I think they overlap. Dang. Dang. Okay, can I dismantle this? Bulldoze it. Kill it. But wait, is there nowhere to take... There's nowhere to take the bits that are missing. Oh, dang it. Okay, hold on. The chopping block is... Oh, wait. That was weird. It got upgrades it. Why was it on the upgrade tab? Okay, let's turn junk into firewood. Forever. That should clear some stuff out of our storage. Which means somebody's going to demolish this, right? Right? Somebody? Is no one going to demolish this thing? I thought construction... Okay, maybe demolishment isn't construction. Maybe it's destruction. That would make sense. Okay, so I thought maybe that little half grid square would count, but it looks like no. So I'm going to build this slightly off center and die a little bit inside so that I can place some storage here. And let's just grab more of it, because why not? Okay, so all that junk that we've been collecting, we're just turning all of it into firewood. I don't know if that's a good idea. It's the only use I have for junk right now. That may change in the future, and I may regret this decision. But... Oh, movement! Over there! In the supermarket! Alright, let's do it. Zoop. Uh-oh, it's getting dark. Whoa, huh, what? You scared the salt off me. Take it easy. We're passing through and found your campfire. We wanted to see if you're okay. Wow, that's actually really thoughtful. Sorry, haven't seen anyone in a while. Didn't expect company when I was munching on crumbs here. You got your bag packed, food stocked, drifting or heading somewhere? I'm hopping islands toward a city further out. Hoping I'll find some other people. Make surviving less lonely, you know? But hey, looks like you found me first. Who are you folks anyway? We're a township, Barnacleton at... Barnacleton, I can say it. Barnacleton at sea. We've been drifting around looking for survivors. Hold up, you're telling me I can join you lot? Yes. Oh, buoy! This is gonna be great. This is the most nautical game I've ever seen. Mind giving me a hand with this food? We could use it for the journey ahead. Okay, yeah, scavenge remaining food. She's a recycler and a taxidermist. Cool. All right, we've got... Okay, there's shopping carts, but we need demolition tools in order to get them, and we don't have those yet. But now that we have got the salad spinner, the desalinator, the chopping block, like, we've kind of got room to take care of our own needs here, which is great. We got 20 food, we got 15 water, and I mean infinite salt water to draw from. I do think we should go over here and grab this plastic. We're pretty low on plastic, which means how are we doing on floaters? We're low on floaters as well. Okay, yeah. Let's go get that plastic. By the way, you can deliberately move the boat backwards by holding both mouse buttons together. Did I say mouth buttons? Both mouse buttons together. And I think that's pretty great. They give you, like, way more control than you would expect for, like, a very, very rough, high-level simulation of a boat on a map screen. Which I don't, actually might really... I don't really know. I mean, I haven't been following this. You know, I've been dropping in every few years onto this game, so I don't know how it's developed. But I've got to imagine that the way they developed this, by going to early access very early on and developing this alongside players who were playing the game, that probably made it easier for them to figure out as they were going, like, what are the little minor complaints? Like, I'm betting somebody was like, you know, when my boat runs up against an obstacle forward, it's really hard to get it going the right way. I would love to, you know, to be able to back my boat out on purpose and move it more efficiently on the map. I wouldn't be surprised if that was, like, player feedback that they got that, you know, it's very easy to miss things like that when you're developing a game. Again, I have no inside knowledge into how they were actually, how the process actually went, so don't take this as me giving you facts. I'm just giving you, you know, general products of my experience as a game developer. There are certain things that people on the team are likely to find, and there's certain things that players are likely to find. And that was the kind of thing that I wouldn't be surprised if it was a player that found it. Because as a developer, you know, you play the game when it's at its absolute worst, you know, when just every part of it is broken and it sucks. And it's very easy to kind of get used to the game in that state and expect it to kind of suck in a few ways. And you end up, you know, building up a lot of, like, habits for sort of overcoming the suckiness of your game. Oh, we only need one person to do this job. Yeah, you end up coming up with a lot of habits for dealing with the suckiness of your own game, which means you end up kind of getting blind to little minor quality of life things, because you've just gotten very accustomed to having no quality of life in your game whatsoever, and every little bit you appreciate. And so, like, it's very easy to miss small irritants. But players, most of them have not seen the game in its worst state, and so they're not gonna you know, be judging it on the same curve that you're naturally judging it on. They're not gonna get sort of the problem blindness that you can get as a developer, and so they'll often reveal, you know, the need for minor things that you as a developer would miss. Okay, let's gather some seaweed, folks. Though we do have plenty of canned food right now. I never feel like I can be too prepared. All right, so what is our next goal for developing our town? We have got the salad spinner. We've got houses for everyone. We don't have a recycler yet to turn junk into unrefined resources. So that might be worth making. Right here next to our... We do all of our like plasticky type garbage processing in one place. But otherwise, we've built basically everything except the research station. So I'm going to build a research station back here. And we're going to start expanding what we can do. Tech trees are great in games like this because, I mean, you know, even if you were, you know, working on a game that's set in a place or in a situation where technology shouldn't be a mystery, you know, where people have like the internet and a bunch of expertise or something like that, and or they're all like, you know, experts in their field, and there's not a particular reason to think of research as a thing that they should do. It still makes sense to have a tech tree because it allows you, it's basically like a self-tutorialization system. You know, it's a means for players to, at their own speed, take the game from simple to complex. So we're going to scout the region here. So like right now, you know, my build menu, there's barely anything on it. And everything here, it made sense exactly what it does. I didn't have a lot, there wasn't a lot of mystery here for me to figure out. And it was just all very accessible. Eventually, I mean, notice how wide this is. Eventually, this is going to fill up with buttons. But if they put all of those buttons in front of me at the same time, it would have been a disaster. So instead, they let me slowly fill this up myself. So now I'm going to be adding the rope crafter, the storage yard, and the drying rack to the list. I should go... Okay, I need to get more wood and more plastics. So while we're doing that research... Okay, we got plastics floating out here. Actually, oh, this direction. Well, notice that the boat naturally goes backwards when you click behind it, too. You don't have to manually set it to go backwards if you don't want to. That there, and that there. And, oh, there's more plastics than I saw because the game was paused. So, fill up this plastic thing. Even though we've already got enough floaters, we're going to fill up the plastic so the next time we use a floater, we've got the wherewithal to replenish it. And so we got this little icon here. This just means our storage is full. Because you can see our water storage is full. I don't like the icon though, so you know what I'm going to do? This is silly, but I'm going to go into the production thing. It's behind me. I'm going to set my production limit on water to 20. So they also don't want to make water beyond 20. Or actually, you know what? I think I'm going to set it to 18. Because they sometimes overproduce just slightly. So that once they have a drink... Oh, wait. Our water reserves are at 28, but we've got 20 water storage. That's weird. Oh, the water's being piled up. It's piled up in here. Oh, that's funny. Okay, cool. Okay, so we've got plenty of plastic to fill our floater needs. Well, by plenty, I don't know if anything is really counts as plenty ever. You never have enough in a survival game. By the way, I don't know... Sometimes when I travel on the map, I'm still with the boat when I close the map. And sometimes I come back and the boat has moved on without me. I don't know what makes the difference between those two scenarios. I don't know why I sometimes stay with the boat and sometimes the boat leaves without me. We're still running the desalinator. And I'm not sure why. I mean, unless... Yeah, is this the drinkable water reserves or the... I mean, yeah, no, fresh water is the only resource we care about. Salt water we're not tracking. Salt water has a big infinity symbol next to it. So I don't know how that works. Okay. So we've completed rope lashing research. So we're going to go build some stuff to do with that after we go get some wood. But how... Okay, oh, basic tools. I would actually love to be able to make some tools and scavenge some of the stuff we haven't been able to scavenge so far. So, we'll go find some wood. I'm betting wood will be valuable for tool making. I'm not sure it will be valuable. I'm guessing it will be valuable for tool making. Somebody go and take that entire boat. That sounds great. And... so as usual, Junk Punk is staying on the boat doing all of this crafting work. Yeah, we're still making a lot of water. Is it just because... Maybe it's because we've loaded up on seawater here? Are we able to store water in normal, conventional storage spaces? And that's why we're able to sort of exceed storage capacity? I wonder. And I wonder if, like, once they've queued up a bunch of salt water... Oh, no, it's a bunch of... It's not salt water you're making it from, it's firewood. And we're out of firewood. Huh. So, yeah, I wonder if maybe it's because because we queued up a bunch of firewood to use, we have to it's the first... Maybe... Okay. This is my guess for how production limits work. I'm betting when you newly set a production limit, if you've already got a bunch of stuff in the queue, like you've already committed the firewood to it, they're going to use that firewood no matter what. And it's only afterwards, when they're deciding whether to commit more firewood, that they look at the production limit and decide whether to do that. So I think when I set a new production limit, it's basically not going to be honored until they go through the raw materials they've already committed. I'm betting that's how it works. So, okay. We've collected some wood. Oh, wait. We also came here because of seaweed. That's right. Let's go collect some seaweed, too. Because I am paranoid, and we cannot have enough food reserves. We cannot have enough food reserves. Now, I didn't actually set the salad spinner to infinite because there is another use of the salad spinner. I'm sorry, not of the salad spinner. There's another use of the seaweed, which is rope crafting. So I'm going to stick the rope crafter over next to the wooden stuff. And once we've got some rope, we can also make a drying rack. And oh, look at that. And we can make a tool maker because apparently we're making a lot of progress on this. So, okay, I'm going to go with seaweed growing. By the way, so researching takes time, but it also requires this knowledge resource, of which I have 6. And I'm not actually sure where I get that. Is that from scouting, maybe? I should go see. Once I'm done with my current research project, I'm going to go scout at that weathered windmill and see if that gives me knowledge. That's my guess for where it might be coming from. Okay, so if I center the map on the boat... Nope. Oh, no, kind of. Maybe that has to do it. Maybe if I'm manually centering the map on the boat, that's what keeps my camera on the boat. Oh, there's more water at this water tower. I don't need more water. Let's not worry about water. Let's send people out here to collect some wood. Let's make them swim really far for no reason. Okay, so we've got a rope maker. So let's turn a bunch of our seaweed into a bunch of rope. Not all of our seaweed, but a bunch of our seaweed. And then the seaweed that's left, we turn into more food. Because we are going through our food. But yeah, we're going to want to have a lot of rope. By the way, I really love this extensible resource grid up here. Like, this started with very few things in it. And basically, it only gets stuff when it's time for me to use stuff. Like when I actually get something, it gets added to the list. But when I don't have a particular thing and I've never seen it before, it doesn't add it to the list. All right, so did we already add a recycler? We did. And so that lets us turn plastic junk into plastic waste. I think we should do that infinitely. So we'll do that, and then we'll build our first tool maker right there. Actually, I should have left more room for more storage on this side. I should have scooted it over. Oh, well. No, I can't. I can't abide it. Take the resources away. Take them away. Somebody. Anybody. What is the priority for destruction? It should be part of construction, right? I don't see a bulldozer icon. Hey. Destroy this. None of your jobs are important. Destroy this thing. I want to put it one tile over. I don't have a way to prioritize it. Come on. I'm wondering if it counts as a different job. Like hauling. What if I make everyone prioritize hauling? Okay, they're all grabbing stuff, distributing it. Yes! There. They're grabbing it from... That's what they needed to do. They needed to be prioritizing hauling to remove the resources from the construction. Okay, everybody stop it. Stop being on a hauling spree. Okay, so now we're going to build our tool maker. And we're going to make sure there's a full 2 tiles for me to build more storage over here. And then at that point, we're coming up on an hour here. So at that point, we'll have built, I think, pretty much everything on our tech tree so far. Let's look. Wait, seaweed growing. Okay, so we're at 5 knowledge right now. And we've got no research assigned. So, okay, so let's see. Okay, so we've got our tool maker. Okay, so actually, okay, so we can make demolition tools out of rope and floaters. We cannot yet make precision tools or chopping tools because we don't have metal plate. We can make containers if we want bio-waste, which we don't. We can make ladders. And we can't make protective gloves until we get fishing. So there's a bunch of stuff we're missing, but we can make a demolition tool. So we will make a demolition tool. So we've got our economy up to a certain level. There's still a lot more to discover. Let's slow down a little bit. Let people chill. But yeah, we've got a lot of wood. We got a lot of plastic. We got enough food and water. And so really, at this point, we're self-sufficient. Enough. Though it did say... No, wait. It did say that we had unlocked seaweed grow. Oh, here we go. Farming. I was looking under food and not seeing it. Farming is its own category. Okay, so. How big is a farm? 6 by 6. That's huge. All right. Well, let's do this. So I'm going to... Nope. I'm going to build that, and we're going to build a huge, giant farm right there. We are extremely unbalanced, and it's fine. It's fine. No problems at all. we're going to immediately start like dipping into our plastic reserves to replace all the floaters we just used. So where's plastic? There's some plastic over there. Yeah, it's not a lot of nearby plastic. So we're going to head over to where we can replenish our plastic. I want to start in a good spot for our next episode, because we're definitely doing another episode. We did that whole thing backwards because that's the kind of people we are. All right, get some more plastic, people. Get out there in the water. Do your jobs. Look at that. Wait, so this is a seaweed farm? But it's over? Oh, interesting. How's this going to work? I'm very curious. Is this just a way to, like, are we growing seaweed, like, down into the water? I think we're growing seaweed down into the water. That's amazing. Gonna grab some more plastic. Then we have a bunch of plastic, a bunch of wood, very little seaweed, but we're growing it. And that will be a great spot to start our next episode. So yeah, I mean, I have a tradition of making 2 videos about Flotsam every time I check in with Flotsam again. So we've got to make at least one more. But I mean, I've never been as enthusiastic about this game as I am right now. It has all come together very slickly. And the thing that I appreciate is, I played through the tutorial. It did not take me very much time to just sort of blast through it and learn the basics. And now that I've learned the basics, I know, like how to move the boat around, how to investigate, when I make landfall, like how to scavenge, how to use the tech tree. Like, the game is just going to teach itself from here on out. Like, I don't feel like, there's a lot of mystery to the sort of mechanics of how it's going to work. I feel really confident that I could just keep on going and keep progressing. And I don't always feel that way in complicated, like, community sims. It's very easy for them to just sort of stay kind of weird and arcane for a very long time. This game, they've been honing it alongside an audience of people who were playing their game in early access to get it to the point where it is very slick and easy for a person to just sort of, if you'll excuse the phrase, dive in and immerse themselves in the game and feel like they can, you can jump right into the deep end and just start playing the game. And that is not easy to do for a game. Community sims in general, it's a very complicated genre, and it is very hard to make something that is slick and easy to get into. And they've really done a great job with this. And so I'm impressed with it. I like it a lot, and I'm going to keep playing it. So if you want to see me do that, you can subscribe to my channel, and you can click this link right here, which should lead to that video. And I'll see you there.